well, both Marcello and myself have used the Drytron. We thought we'd do an unboxing of the Drytron.
When you receive the Drytron, you can find
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here. We got another Drytron list for you. This is 34.0, topping at the AGOV. Sneak peek. Let's do it. All right, starting things off with the main deck, ladies and gentlemen. You already know how we like to cook things: triple alpha, triple zeta, double gamma, and only one delta in this build. You'll see why in just a moment. Golden ratios change once again. Fairy names: one of the orange, one of the diviner, and one of the vanity's ruler. In the main, all you need. We side the other two copies, spoiler alert. For the ritual monsters, 3 copies of Ben 10, 1 Natasha, the greatest card in the history of this deck. You should just run through any board that you encounter. 1 of the Amor Factors, 1 of the Draco Nids, and that is it for the rituals. So your main win conditions here, obviously, are your Amor Factor and your Vanity's Ruler. You can choose which one you want to go for. The Amor Factor is your backup play if you only open a 1-name hand, meaning access to Zeta and Ben 10 and nothing else. So you can get this guy still up, having to normal summon the Diviner. But this card, especially going into Uncharted territory, I say this every single darn format, guys. If you don't know what to expect with the post-AGOV coming along the way, then this is a pretty safe bet. So that's what we're choosing to go with here for now. And it, of course, always just steals games because they can't special summon. It's pretty good. 3 of the Nova, 1 of the Fafnir, 2 of the Medionis. Don't flame me for this. I'm just enjoying playing 2. And you can always side out the extra copy if you don't think you need it. So just keep that in mind. 3 copies of Emergency. 3 copies of Pod Prosperity. This is why we cut Delta down to 1. This is an added consistency card. I think it's worthwhile to play, not only to reach into a missing name or a Ben 10, to play through interruptions, search for side deck cards, or you'll see another card later. Shout out Jordy Wang. If you already know, you know. Let's move on. 2 copies of the Thrust, guaranteed, needs to be in there. Going with it, we've got the Prep, we've got the Herald of the Abyss. This is your searchable out to the Pearly Boss Monster. 1 of the Harpies for the Duster, another searchable card. If Labyrinth is going to be coming in with their Mr. New Butler, all right? That Butler, ooh, we don't like him. He is butt. So, when they try and play, they have to use monster effects. Even though they're trap deck, they have to use monster effects, which means you just Thrust for Harpies. You're playing 3 copies in the main deck. It makes it free. Free as can be. 1 Talents to go with it, 1 Foolish, because it's another good search target, and then the 1 Called by the Grave. Sacked by the Grave, sometimes you gotta sack them. Shout out Jordy Wang. 3, there can be only 1s. This in tier, in Drytron, and whatever, it's good. If you go first and you see this card, it's pretty nice. There's a lot of decks that struggle to play underneath this. Now, post-AGOV, is that going to change a little bit? It very well may. So if we want to play a different Floodgate, I'm not necessarily sure what it would be, but right now, given that the format's only changed so much at our local scene, it's working. It's still working pretty good. And then the last card in the main deck is the Imperm as the searchable Thrust target for when you're going first. You can set this. It's generic. It's generic. So even if you just see it in your opening hand as a negate, it's a really good thing. Okay. Extra deck, super quick. The Drytron Field Center. The other beautiful cards that bring us good life and spirit. 2 Moy Beta, 1 Beatrice, 1 Fuko. I haven't summoned this guy in a long time. I kind of miss Fuko. He hasn't been on the board in a while, so we'll find a way to summon him eventually that makes sense. But doing the Thrust play for the Harpy's Feather Storm, it's not really worth the investment right now, especially seeing that I haven't been seeing as much Shifter. 1 of the Downard, 1 of the Zeus. Lynx is 1 Anima, 1 IP. Okay, so I didn't have this for the day of the super duper fancy thing, the SP Little Knight, but in reality, totally should be playing it. Almost every deck should be playing it because this card's insane. It's one of the best things you can tag out onto on the opponent's turn. So I think it's absolutely worthwhile to play. But in its space today, I was playing this card, Herald of Mirage Light, and I actually didn't summon it. I know we're playing a Vanity's Ruler build, so of course you want to have those outs for the Imperms and the Book of Moons. I'm at a crossroads. Do we keep this in and cut something else? Or should we cut this? You let me know. Then Azalea. This card was insane, especially since I didn't have Little Knight. I was summoning this all the time just to clear out cards. This is another one you could consider cutting as well. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this and play the SP Little Knight instead. But this being as generic as it is, it does kind of help out. All right. The 1 Dynamundo, tagging out. This is another interrupt on the opponent's turn as well. Apollosa, and the Moral Sword. Finally, last 2 cards in the extra deck. We unfortunately have to play them. I wish we could cut these. I wish you could just pull these out of the ether when you're resolving Diviner's Effect and get 2 slots back in the extra. But you can't, so we have to play them. All right, side deck. I'm very happy with the side deck. Triple Lava Golem. Oh yeah. I love slapping down Lava Golems. Triple Droll. You have to play this still. You still have to play this. There's even more FTK decks running around, so just be ready. You have to have something that can stop them from comboing off on you. If you know what our deck does, then you know what the other decks do. You know how important it is to Droll unlock things like Mannadium or any other full steam ahead combo deck. Yeah, you want to hit them with the Droll. 2 copies of the Orange Light. The other 2 copies are here on the side. If there are any shifter decks we run into, it's pretty good to bring this in. Or against those FTK decks where you're really like, okay, it's not the highest probability that I'm going to see a live Orange Light in my opening 6, opening 5, but it is still a chance, and that gives me the chance of winning with a Gamma level hand trap, so that's why we play. Then triple copies Forbidden Droplets to deal with those, same thing, the FTK type decks, the 1-dimensional barrier, and then the triple copies of the Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. The only thing I will say is I might have been a little underprepared or disrespectful of back row. I just think that the Harpies is sufficient to deal with things like Labyrinth, and then the other rogue matchups, hey man, I guess we're just hoping for the best. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Drytron content, leave a like, comment down below, tell me what you do different. Let us know what you think makes the most sense to play in the extra deck for the slot of that little night. LoganJYA, signing off for a great day. I'll see you people later. Peace.